Good morning, guys. Welcome to my Monday morning rant for Monday, the 15th of August, 2022. So, just an update. I have had a pretty rough week. That was last week and maybe the week before as well. And this morning has been the first morning that I've woken up actually feeling pretty good and quite happy, and I'm totally fine. I've had a fair few friends reach out and uh maybe about last week's rant, and it just got to a there's just been so much death, it's just gotten to a point where I think it wasn't just the death. With my mate Chris passing away, and then Olivia Newton-John and Mr. Outerside, my principal at school. He also passed away, and Izzy Miyake, the famous Japanese designer, also passed away. So it was just like, holy fuck, what the fuck is going on, right? And it threw me into a bit of a tumble. And I don't mean to sound like I'm fucking, sorry for myself or nothing. It was just that I was feeling the same exact feelings that I was feeling when I was down in the hole. When I had mania and depression and needed help. I started to feel some of those same feelings, which, yeah, I was concerned about. I wasn't about to just shut up and take it. I had to let it out, and I'm really glad I did. My cousin Jess reached out to me and suggested melatonin, and I haven't done any research. I usually really love to do research on things before I just, jump right in. But I do remember some UFC fighters taking it in order to sleep before a big fight, and I just thought, well, fuck, if because they're real health freaks, right? They're at the top of their game, and what they put into their bodies is really important to these athletes. So I figure if it's safe for them, and then I've had some people tell me that it's herbal or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't sound too bad. My mum ended up getting me a box of the stuff because I think apparently if you're over 55 years old, you can just buy it over the counter. So that also makes me feel like, okay, well, this shit can't be that bad. And the box looks like any other pharmaceutical medicine. The box looks exactly the same as the antidepressants and stuff that I used to take. So that freaked me out to a point where I put it off for a couple of nights after I had some, and I just sort of left it there on a kitchen bench and just ignored it because apparently you're not meant to mix it with alcohol too. And I've been drinking a lot. Like, I've been back to my old ways of drinking earlier on in the day, and definitely drinking a bottle or sometimes a little bit more than a bottle a day, which is 100% not good. But a couple of nights ago, maybe it's 3 nights now, I decided to try some of this melatonin. And at first, the one pill did nothing. I upped it to 2, and 2, I could feel something. I could feel a bit of grogginess in the morning. Apparently, that's not meant to happen with melatonin, but I felt it. And I'm groggy as fuck right now. I had a lot of wine last night, and I had a couple of pills, and I am definitely feeling pretty hazy this morning, but I am feeling better. I'm feeling better, and I think, again, it just goes to show how I just think sleep is really, really important. I mean, I just think it's. I know personally that if I don't sleep well and I don't sleep for like days at a time or weeks at a time, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna go crazy. So, 100%. Uh, I feel better today than I have in a really long time. And in a few hours from now is my mate's funeral, which is like down the road from my place. But just the weight of thinking about going to the funeral has put me in a bad place for like had put me in a bad place for a few days last week. And I think it was a couple of nights ago, I just realized that I don't think I can do this. Like I don't think I can turn up to the funeral, and it's like a runaway kind of like a flight response from me. And I've been known to do it. Hey, hit the eject button and just want to get the fuck out of there, or just not show up to things at all. And showing up would be the right thing to do. Some of my friends, high school friends, are flying in from interstate to be at the funeral today, and they're all on WhatsApp. And some of us that are tighter are on WhatsApp in a little group. And I just wrote a message the other night to say that I haven't quite decided yet. That I'll probably decide last minute, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can go today. It's just too weighty, and I think my mindset's not right. Like some of the guys on the WhatsApp are already talking about it like a celebration. And after the funeral, like to like organizing it, the after party, and it's just. I think that's the right mindset to have. I think to be able to look at someone dying as a celebration and be happy and smile, and I am just not capable of that. I'm just too emo at heart, right? And um and yeah, so I don't think I can go. I think it's going to be streamed, or it is going to be streamed. I'm not even sure if I'm going to watch it, but much love and respect for Chris, his family, and friends. But I just I don't think I'm going to go today. I'm catching up with family tonight though, and that'll be good. I am looking for pockets of goodness, like I had an opportunity last week to catch up with Nick, a good friend of mine, and I was busy that day with an escort that I shot the week before, who wants my help with setting up her OnlyFans, and she's not in the best of places and financially, and could do with some help there. And so I had a meeting with her last week, and I'm still back to my old ways of not being able to do multiple things in a day. So I missed that opportunity to catch up with Nick. He's an amazing guy and always makes me feel great after I catch up with him. But we'll reschedule that for sure. And I did catch up with Viv as well last week, and that really helped to, again, like, just sleep helps and catching up with people helps. All of this is really logical shit, right? And we just, I had Olivia Newton-John's songs caught in my head so bad, especially Hopelessly Devoted. That's just I woke up this morning with that song in my head. But when I heard it in my head this morning, I was actually happy about the song. And it wasn't like a fucked up a depressing way of looking at the song. This morning it was that mindset of it's a celebration. Mum sent me a message to say that when Grease was out in the cinemas, she took me, and I was a little kid, and I danced in the aisle of the cinema, and the crowd applauded applauded me, and she said I was so adorable dancing to that to the last song in the movie. And I've seen bitter footage which we converted to VHS of me dancing to the Grease soundtrack, and that movie. It's an odd one for me because I hate musicals. Like when Viv was over, she loves musicals, man. She's threatening to take me to a musical, and she's so into them, and they're so cheesy to me. They're so lovey dovey and cheesy, and but for some reason, Grease isn't. It's got Grease lightning in it. They're actually making a car, modifying a car, and the dream car had a clear perspex bonnet, which was it's just so ahead of its time. You know, I've been to car shows where people have got clear bonnets at like just 10 years ago. So, and that whole concept of Sandy and Danny falling in love on a summer break, and then when they get back to school, she tells the girls about how lovely the whole experience was. He brags about the experience, and probably like typical boys in high school or boys in school, they brag about sexual details and what went on sexually. And then he has to be the too cool for school kind of treat him mean, keep him keen. Pretend that he doesn't have any feelings for it because that would be a sign of weakness to the boys. And yeah, shit, man. Like I don't know if you've been in a lot of relationships, you probably know that that's just something that happens sometimes, and has happened with me a fair few times. And so that movie resonates with me in so many ways. But yeah, I have to say I also had the lowest point like that I had last week was I had and maybe this was when I was starting to get to sleep. Maybe it was just like a couple of nights ago. I don't even remember now. But I had this crazy dream, and I went out with a girl that every morning over breakfast she would tell me about her dream from the night before, and it drove me fucking nuts. Like I couldn't handle it after a few months. Just listening to someone try to explain their dreams and remember the dreams and then remember more and more bits to it and get so excited about it, but at the same time it's just a dream. And I wasn't there. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I don't mean to get into this kind of shit. I don't believe that dreams have any kind of meaning. But this particular dream kind of shook me up. I was scuba diving underwater with a mate, and it was really fucking dark. And we had these amazing futuristic looking torches that lit everything up. And everything was blue. And it started out really like grand and massive, but then it got tighter and tighter to a point where it was like caving. And I don't know if you guys are aware of those people that are really into caving. It's all over YouTube. I've watched heaps of them in the past, and they get so tight in these caves that they can't move. Like they're literally on their, like they're worming through these holes hundreds of feet underground. And so that's what happened in this dream. And so we're underwater, and the caves get tighter and tighter to a point where my tank and all my gear is just rubbing up against the rocks. And I did this twist. I had to turn like 90 degrees. So I twisted my body, and I got into this really weird sort of L-shaped, uncomfortable position, and I got stuck. And the tether to my other mate had broken, and he had gone on, and probably didn't know that I was stuck and in trouble. And then my light ran out of batteries, So I was in complete darkness, and then I ran out of oxygen, and I died. And I haven't had a dream where I died in a really long time. Um, uh, and it really affected me. Like I got up and I was really scared, and I was gonna write it all down. It was gonna be so amazing. But again, it's just a dream, and I just didn't bother writing it down because it sounds like maybe typical to some people. I don't know. Maybe people have these kind of nightmares all the time. But I think in retrospect now, it was just a good sign that I'm dreaming again, which means I'm sleeping. So yeah, it just all comes back down to that for me. Um, I need my sleep, and just having a week of no sleep or really bad sleep was a sign for me that this isn't good for me, and I need to get on it ASAP, and I have. So um yeah, in other news, I've been gaming a fair bit, and the leader of our clan is feeling a little bit bad that his stats weren't as good as some other players, and he hadn't been able to put heaps of time in. He's engaged and he's getting married, and he's really busy with work, and like basically life has gotten in the way to a point where he felt bad about being a leader because he's not as into the game as he was before. And I could totally understand that position because I have created so many communities where at some point either I wasn't into the community as much and the hobby as much. Like the Bikes Move Us cycling community, for example, I stopped riding after some point, and it just felt weird to be running the community if I'm not even riding myself. So, at times I've had to hand over leadership, and at times I've had to completely fold and terminate a community because I couldn't find a leader, or didn't feel right about running it, and profiting off a community if I no longer have my heart in it. So a lot of people replied with, oh, I don't mean to be a prick, but it's like a lot of people seem to think that when someone has a problem, you just say something nice and suck their dick and just say something that'll cheer them up, and everything will be fine, or that, hey, life gets in the way for everyone, so it's all right. And yeah, I get that, but I'm not a cocksucker, right? So I don't go and pad someone up just to make them feel better. Um, so I ended up writing like a fucking essay, and it felt really good to write it because I could have just written a little blah, but I actually had to sleep on it, and I put a lot of effort in, and I wrote something so long that I couldn't even post it in one go on Discord. I had to post it over 2 messages, and that's mania for sure because it's not expected on Discord. Like, we're just into gaming, like you don't need to go. This is just ridiculous, but I couldn't help myself, and like I just wrote about leadership and all the amazing qualities he has as a leader, absolutely. But I also wrote that yes, life gets in the way, for everyone, but as a leader, you need to understand that that can happen, and you have to have a plan for it when it does happen. That's what makes a good leader. And yeah, I said a bunch of stuff, and didn't get a response from him, which is really unusual because usually he responds really quickly. So I sent him a private message to say I'm sorry if what I wrote upset you in any way, because I wrote a lot. And he responded to me and just said he was actually quite speechless after reading it, and that he really appreciated it, and I was really, really happy to hear that. And this kind of and he gave me something for my ego. Like he said uh he thought he liked me, and that like he likes my vibe. And I've had a few people call me legend the last couple of days for this and that. And I'm starting to dish it out, so I'm calling other people legend too. And this like, as much as sleep is really important, I think ego is really fucking important too. And I'm a really egotistical person. And I've noticed, like, when I'm not feeling myself, it's probably when I'm really, really not loving myself either, you know. And just last night, I got in touch again with someone that I'd been in touch with a lot. I think he's in Germany, and he reached out of the blue to say that he was watching a Twitch streamer, and she was wearing Zen, and he was also watching an old Mighty Car Mods episode, and I was in it, and he just wanted to reach out and see how I was going, and then we had a little chat, and he fed my ego, and I really kind of needed that, and it made me feel good. So I was open to feeling good again, and that's, again, I've been on. It's been a pretty good morning so far. I mean, I know I'm ranting, like I know it's all over the fucking shop, but I just want to document that I feel good today, and I feel like I haven't felt good in a couple of weeks, so, or maybe even longer than that, and I think this sleep is helping, and allowing myself to just take in some of the positive comments as opposed to just negating them straight off the bat. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, I still have the opportunity to go to this funeral today, and who knows? I might decide last minute to go. It would be good to see some of the boys. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great week. I know that I'm on to having a much better week, and I'm excited for it. So I shall leave it there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See yous.